So hi guys, welcome to the next video and little projects that we're going to do for random acts of kindness. This week we're going to be finally doing the Kindness Rocks project. I'm looking forward to showing you guys what this is all about. So yeah, stick with me and we're going to do some cool stuff. Alright guys, so for this project you are going to need some paints. You're also going to need some paint brushes and a cup of water. What I did was I cut a water bottle and just use this as a base, so you don't have to get nothing fancy. It's a little side of water. And then another thing I did was I opened up an old paper bag and I used that as my base so that we can, freely paint and stuff on there without worrying about the surface so much. The last and most important item is actually some rocks, you guys. And so when you guys are gathering rocks, there's some specifications to the rocks that will make it better and easier for you guys to paint, and I will get into that in a bit. But yes, so materials are rocks, paint brushes, and a surface to work on, and most likely also some paper so you can wipe your paintbrushes. So I can tell you guys a little bit of what this project is about, but I actually have a video from the lady who actually started this whole movement that you guys can see, and so I'm gonna play it right after this clip so you guys can check out her story, and understand why I kind of want you guys to join this movement and kind of do this project together. So yes, watch the next video and let me know what you think.
My parents passed away when I was in my early 20s, so before I had my children. And so I would basically have conversations. People would say conversations with God, I would say conversations with my mom and dad, and I'd be looking for signs and messages from them. It was a very introspective process for me. I'd say, like, Mom, Dad, send me a message or a sign that this is the right thing that I should be doing, or this is the direction I should be going in. So I had this whole system. A heart-shaped rock would be for my dad, and a piece of sea glass would be for my mom. And when I would find one, I would feel really like I was being supported and that was the right decision or direction to go in. And I would leave the beach that day and I'd think, wow, okay, I've got this, I can handle this. So yeah, those were the moments that I really felt something, bigger than myself. But through this process, I realized that actually the answers lied within me. It wasn't like coming from something outside. There were no messages from somebody else. It was, something that I already knew. I started noticing other people that were walking. And I started noticing that they had the same expressions as I did on my face, that they were maybe introspective or looking for something, contemplating life. And I thought, huh. And one day when I was leaving for my walk, there was a Sharpie pen on the counter, and I picked it up and I was like, I stuck it in my pocket. And when I got to the beach, I looked around, to see if anybody was watching me, and I started writing messages on the rocks. And, I'm like dropping them and walking, a ways and doing another one. And on the very first day, I only dropped 5 rocks. And I was thinking, what am I doing? The whole time I'm like, what am I doing? Like, Mom and Dad, what am I doing? And interestingly enough, that night, a friend of mine texted me a picture of a rock she found on the beach. And there's millions of rocks. I mean, millions of rocks. There's no possible way that I dropped 5 rocks and that a friend of mine found one of those rocks and she picked it up and texted me. I didn't tell anybody I was doing it. I mean, that's really odd. And I think maybe she might have recognized my handwriting and she knew I walked the beach every day, that beach. So when she texted me the picture of it, I was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. That was not me. But that's really cool that somebody did that. And she replied, and this is when the project started. This was the absolute moment that it started, was when she said to me, "If you did drop this rock, it made my day." I was having a rough day, and the message just meant so much. And I thought, okay, I have something here.
Alright guys, so step one of this Kindness Rocks project is to gather and clean all of your rocks. So I gathered a few of them ahead of time, and when you're cleaning them, also make sure that they dry out all the way, so that you will be able to paint on them without having any issues with the paint falling off or anything like that. So yeah, another thing is it's gonna work best if you find smooth rocks. I found a couple nice smooth rocks that we can use. Although I did find some that were kind of rough, we're still gonna try to work with them. It's better if you guys find rocks that are about 3 to 6 inches. So these two are amazing. So 3 to 6 inches, just so you kind of get an idea, it's just about the size of your palm. So this one's perfect. This one's perfect. This one's good still within the size. These two are a little small, but I thought they would be kind of cute to decorate anyways, so we can add onto it. So if you guys do find small ones, just kind of make that kind of your additions to the larger ones, because these are the ones that are going to work best. I mean, there's also options to create some, but I know it's a whole extra mile and it's easier to just gather them. So yeah, then on to the next step. Alright guys, so for step 2 of this, I'm going to just clear my space and move some of the paints and paintbrushes that I don't need kind of out of the way. And I will show you guys my workspace so you guys can kind of get an idea of, you know, how to set up your little work area. And so I picked these two brushes. So this one's going to be for painting the base of the rock, and this one's going to be for the details, you know, the writing or whatever we're going to do on top of that. Okay, so I have these two out, and I kind of picked 3 colors that I want. And you guys can always choose as many as you'd like, but these 3 colors are ones that I want to use for, like, I want to use white for my base, I want to use black for a base, and then I have blue for some writing, and you know, so these are my 3 colors of choice. And then I have my water out and my rocks kind of laid out, so I will show you. Alright guys, so I wanted you guys to see my setup. So I have my rocks laid out kind of to the side where I want to decorate them at. So here we go. Rocks are laid out kind of to the side where you guys think it's gonna have more space for you to paint them. So I'm choosing these sides like this. And I have my little cup of water right here, and I'm also going to get some paper to have ready to wipe my brushes with. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out some of these paints. Alright, so now that we do have our 3 paints laid out, we can go ahead and use the bigger brush. So as you can see, this is the bigger brush here. So we're going to use this bigger brush to pick a color that we're going to lay out for our base. And so the color I want for most of our bases is going to be white. And so I'm going to go ahead and start off and paint this surface white. As you can see, this rock is already pretty white on its own, so it's not really much of a difference. So let me show you guys. For example, I feel like it's flatter on this side, yeah. Alright, so here we go. Starting painting this stone for its base color of white. And since the stone is a dark color, it is kind of gonna show through a little bit, but just kind of paint the surface that you want to work with throughout. So here we go. And if you guys do feel like it's not enough paint, like it's not enough background, you guys can layer it up. So you guys can go ahead and do this first layer and let it dry. And after it dries, just go on and pass through with the white color again, or whatever color you're using. And so as you can see, it's cool that I have this paper background, because now I could also wipe my hands on it without kind of being paranoid of ruining the space. And see, as you guys need more paint, you guys can also lay some more out. But yeah, these paints are what's going to work best for the rocks and for these surfaces, for the paint not to fall off. Because as you guys know, these rocks will be left back out for people to find, to bring them joy and kind of change their days. Alright, and so you kind of get the point. I'm gonna go ahead and end this part of the steps and get back to you guys when I'm done painting all the layers, all the bases of my rocks, the background color that I chose. Alright, so see you guys in the next clip for the next step. Also, I wanted to let you guys know, if the thinner layer that you guys work with, the better, because that way your rocks will dry faster and the layers will be nice and even. And so after you guys are done painting these nice even layers, to change to a different color, you're going to want to dip your paintbrush into the little water container that I mentioned earlier, and kind of just get all the paint. Try to get as much paint as you can off of there. You can also use the napkins I mentioned earlier to kind of assist in wiping some of that excess paint off. And so now this brush is clean and ready for whatever next color you choose. Alright, and actually we're going to dip into this brush now, because it's going to be the thinner brush, so that we can do designs and all the fun stuff on our rocks. I want you guys to think about what kind of things you want to write on the rocks, because you can choose quotes. One of my favorites is just keep swimming. You can choose just one word. You could put joy, love, hope, or you can do images. You guys can draw a smiley face or a flower or a ladybug. So yeah, anything you guys choose that you guys want to add to your rocks, feel free. Just messages that we're gonna inspire others. We're gonna go into starting to design some artwork on these rocks. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose some blue. Okay. And so just as an example of how your quotes or phrases or whatever you plan to write on the rock can always change, I'm looking, and since I'm writing kind of big, I'm gonna have to put a shorter word. You are worthy. So as you can see, I have to keep dipping into my paint to continue to write these words. But now that I have kind of an outline, I know that my word did fit. Yay! Nice. And so kind of once you have your words all done, you can go ahead and add some patterns. Since I did use that blue, I'm gonna go ahead and dip into this black color, and you guys can choose what designs or what type of things you guys want on your rock. So you want to make it look like little designs. Alright, and so once you finish on the back of your rock, you're gonna write hashtag the Kindness Rocks Project, so that others can see it, and hopefully feel inspired to join the movement along with us. So my first rock has a quote. So if it has a wet paint kind of around the edges, you can already work on it, but try not to work on it if it has wet paint on the center. Otherwise your words are gonna end up all mixed in and smudged. Here you guys are, a final sample of the different ways we can decorate our rocks. So I have this one that says be strong, this one that says you are worthy, and this one with the little happy face. Alright guys, so don't forget that in the back you guys are gonna write hashtag the Kindness Project, so that people will know what this is and why it's out there. Alright Alright guys, so now that I have showed you guys the kindness project and these rocks, you guys are free to, you know, place them outside for others to find, and yeah, just keep an eye out and hope that you guys are spreading happiness. And I hope to see you guys in the next video, and I hope that you guys liked your end result. And remember guys, you are worthy, be strong, and see you guys next time. Thanks.